Following 3 rounds of this year's Speed Touring Car Championship, 2 drivers have emerged as the front-runners for the title. Pierre Klein-Newving, stunning stuff for real-time racing in that new Acura RSX. Here comes Bill Auberlen. He has been blindingly fast in this one. What's Auberlen got for Klein-Newving? Klein-Newving's RSX has shown the horsepower needed to compete here at Road Atlanta, but BMW has won 3 of the last 4 races on the red Georgia clay. Will Klein-Newving beat Auberlen and the rest of the BMW boys? Find out next on Speed. After a 5-week break, it is time to go racing again. Welcome to Road Atlanta for round 4 of the 2003 Speed Touring Car Championship in association with SCCA Pro Racing. It's one of the most challenging circuits on the tour. Hello, I'm Lee Diffie, along with Johnny O'Connell and Brian Till. Well, it's undulating, it's windy, it's challenging. Johnny, talk us round.
Well, Lee, Road Atlanta is one of Don Panos' 3 tracks. It's a beautiful circuit, a lot of elevation changes. Key areas, though, are going to be getting down through the S's quickly. Got to carry your momentum through there. Turn 7, it's important to get a shot out of there because most of the passing is going to be going into turn 10.
Down to the grid, here's Brian Till.
Pierre Klein-Newving comes to Road Atlanta with a championship points lead and the enviable track record of having won 2 of the season's first 3 races. But in his 2 championships and his 16 career victories, he has never found victory here at Road Atlanta, and it looks like that streak could continue here today. As yesterday in qualifying, Klein-Newving had a big off in turn 12 onto the front straightaway, spun the car to the inside, and while most of the damage was merely cosmetic, he spent a lot of time in pit lane having that car repaired. That's valuable track time that he lost. He'll roll off 20th here today. His team owner and his boss, Peter Cunningham, certainly knows how to win here at Road Atlanta. He did the double last year, winning both the Speed GT and Touring Car divisions, but the defending Touring Car champion season to date has been marked with growing pains.
We've had real good reliability, real good speed, but we've had bad reliability in 2 sessions. 1 session at No Sport and 1 session at Lime Rock, but of course it happened to be the race that we had our bad luck. You know, maybe it's teething problems, maybe it's just little niggling things, but like I say, we're happy about our performance. The team's working well to get the car going the way it is. The car started out as a good car, so it's just a matter of time before we get a finish that's more representative of our performance.
Peter Cunningham has been around long enough that he knows this new project will take a while to yield top-class results. Starting positions, finishing positions for this year, Johnny, they will improve.
Of course they will. Nissan, he chose the right guy with Peter Cunningham. He showed it in the past, he'll show it in the future.
The championship points are tight, it's exciting. 2 wins to 1, Klein-Newving over Auberlen. And with more on that, here's Brian Till.
Bill Auberlen is second in points, but he's first on the grid here. He qualified on the pole and led and won at Sebring in the first race of the year. He looks to do that again here at Road Atlanta, but he will have a lot of competition, and a lot of that competition comes from outside the front row. We've seen it in the PGA with Annika Sorenstam. We've seen it in ALMS with Danica Patrick, and for the last 3 years, Shauna Marinus has been taking it to the boys here in Touring Car. And Shauna, you got to like the qualifying here today. No cars in front.
Yeah, the view is a lot better than what it is sometimes, and hopefully, you know, this series is so great, and Mazda and TriPoint have done such an awesome job on this car, and hopefully we can inspire some little girls to just follow their dreams. So glad to be here. Just want to have a fun, good race.
The first woman to ever start on the front row in the SCCA Speed World Challenge. Congratulations, Shauna Marinus. We will go green after this.
So what'd you do this weekend?
Went to the supermarket. The dry cleaners. Did my recycling. Oh, and we went to her mom's.
That's too bad.
Not really.
You know, Dave?
Yeah, I've admit.
This new Market Fresh 5-Star Club is so good. It's the kind of sandwich my parents would have loved. I was adopted, Dave.
Introducing Arby's new Market Fresh 5-Star Club. Oven-roasted turkey and ham plus 2 cheeses on new Harvest White bread. Try Arby's new Market Fresh 5-Star Club.
What are you eating today?
There's a rhythm to the road, and we have the Toyo tire to fit you. Like the Proxys High Performance line featuring the T1S for the ultimate and ultra-high performance, the affordable FZ4 High Performance Radial, and the ST for full-size sport trucks and SUVs. Tire dealers themselves have named Toyo #1 in product quality. That's harmony with tire dealers, drivers, and the road.
Nothing performs like the BMW 3 Series. BMW, the ultimate driving machine.
Speed Channel's coverage of the Speed Touring Car Championship is brought to you by BMW. Visit your local BMW centre for a test drive. BMW, the ultimate driving machine. Time to go racing here at Road Atlanta. Let's check out the grid. Bill Auberlen for the second time this year starts from the pole alongside Shauna Marinis, first time front row sitter. What about the rookie? James Clay has done a good job along with Jeff Altenberg. Nick Johnson up there in the top 5, and Chuck Hemmingson, that's his best grid spot of the year also. Cunningham, another strong start for the Nissan, and Ken Dobson, his best one for 2003. And John Thrall coming off his career best finish at Lime Rock. As we roll through the rest of the positions, Johnny, how tough is it for Klein Newbing to come from 20th?
You know, it's going to be very difficult, but again, I think he has a lot better car than what he showed. And Pierre, with the championships behind him and the success that he has behind him, psychologically, he's got an edge over those people in front of him. They might give him opportunities they might not give other guys.
Our first of 4 onboards today, Shauna Marinis shows us the view from the front row. This is Scott Bradley, his 3rd start in 2003. He's looking forward to that, teamed with Chuck Hemmingson in the Mazda. Matt Plum, he's coming off his best Speed World Challenge finish at Lime Rock with that brilliant second. And then Tim Pappas in the Lexus IS 300. Has some work to do, but Tim is learning all the time and is a good, hard young charger. Set to go. Watch the lights. It's green at the back of the grid. Round 4 after this long break of 5 weeks. We are set to go racing again, and we're looking forward to it. Lights are off. We are underway, and Shauna Marinis is slow off the start. She gets pounced upon, and Jeff Altenberg, her teammate, is right up the inside there. It's Bill Auberlen, though, who leads the way. Good, strong start from Nick Johnson as well.
Yeah, you know, Nick, again, he was very strong in Lime Rock. I spoke to him before the event. He was angry that he got taken out there. If you remember on the first lap, Petey Cunningham got in the back and turned him backwards. So he wants to set the record straight about what he can do. But on the start there, you'd expect the BMW's rear-wheel drive to get a good start there. Nicholas did, and right now he's going to be pushing Billy Auberlen.
You ride with Shauna Marinis. She's back in 5th. Good, strong start, too, from 37. Matt Richmond.
Well, you know what, and when we look at these Mazdas and we see that Shauna and Altenberg together as teammates, those cars are very strong on this racetrack. I'd expect the 2 of them, as this race goes on, to gain those positions that they might have lost, but it looks like Nicholas is getting challenged right there.
Tim Pappas has spun and gets going again. James Clay is up the front as well as he pushes hard. Nick Johnson has got through up into 2nd. Now here comes the Tri-Point Mazdas. They start to put the pressure on James Clay now. Forcing the issue.
You know, and they're going to be trying to work together, but the one guy that's loving this is Billy Auberlen, because if he sees all these guys spread out the way they are and battling, that gives him the opportunity to do a couple clean laps, no pressure on him, and try to open up a gap.
Nick Johnson. Altenberg on the inside, there's James Clay. Look at this. Altenberg is into Nick Johnson, and Shauna Marinis, she stays tough as well and forces James Clay back. Great driving.
Look at Altenberg trying to make a move on the inside going into turn 12 there. Boy, that's a tough one to pull off, because if you don't make it, you know, turn 12 is a very dangerous corner, Road Atlanta. You don't have a lot of runoff road there, and you hate to see guys acting too brave in it.
Frantic opening lap here at Road Atlanta, round 4 of the 2003 Speed Touring Car Championship. It's Bill Auberlen for Turner Motorsports out in front. Look at the ground. He's opened up over Nicholas Johnson. Then it's Jeff Altenberg. Shauna Marinis after starting from the front row. Then it looks like Chuck Hemmingson in the third Mazda. Yes, Chuck's there ahead of Peter Cunningham in the Nissan Sentra.
Just a beautiful shot as you see the cars coming down through the S's here. You know, again, Nicholas, with him trying to hold off these Mazdas, and I think the Mazdas might be a little bit stronger than he is at the moment. Again, it's allowing Bill the opportunity to pull away, because right now Nicholas is thinking hold position, and I think he's holding a bunch of these cars up.
Great onboard shot there with Shauna Marinis chasing her teammate Jeff Altenberg. She currently sits fourth, and this is a good, strong early showing from the Tri-Point Mazdas. Here's the replay of Tim Pappas.
You know, and that looks like it just happened on its own. There's no one around him. You know, turn 5 is a very slippery corner. Often you'll see guys using all the road coming out. He's up over the curbs, and that's what it was. You can see how it unbalanced the car. He's lucky if he doesn't get to that inside wall. It doesn't look like he did.
Johnny, you know this track extremely well. Is that easy to do there?
You know, very easy. You know, as you see Altenberg there make a move to the inside, taking second away from Nick Johnson. You know, it's easy. You have a tendency in turn 5 to want to hold the steering, but there's a lot of road on the outside. You have to really force your hands to open up. Otherwise, you go to the gas, it'll come around on you like it did just there.
Can't emphasize enough the efforts of the Tri-Point Mazdas as Chuck Hemmingson now starts to put a move on Shauna Marinis. Jeff Altenberg has just had a nightmare year, 38th, 40th, and 22nd. Now he sits in second. This is his strongest showing of the year, and great to see the Tri-Point cars back up there.
You know, I think you know, speaking with him at Lime Rock, he was frustrated that things weren't going the way I think he certainly expected them to. And so, you know, sometimes when you have a racing season, you have bad luck, and that bad luck can turn around just as quickly. If you go back to Sebring, remember, he was quick at Sebring, didn't get to finish. And so right now he's having a good run, and I think Sean is probably watching him thinking, wait a minute, I got to get by Nick here so I can run with my teammate.
That shot illustrates the point perfectly, doesn't it? The amount of lead that Bill Auberlen is enjoying already in this well-turned-out Turner Motorsports BMW. Then it's the Tri-Point Mazda protege for Jeff Altenberg. Another BMW there in Nick Johnson, Chuck Hemmingson. Then the new Nissan Sentra and Peter Cunningham and RTR Racing looking for their best finish of the year. Coming into this race, the BMWs received an extra 100 pounds. With more on that, Brian Till.
You know, guys, everybody's talked about this weight that's been added to cars. The Turner BMW's got 100 pounds because they're running current model cars in the current model engine. But when that decision came down, they had just enough time to put one of the older style engines in the new car. That saved them having to have that 100-pound weight penalty. The question is, which one of the Turner BMWs has the old engine? They won't tell us which one is lighter, but's running the old power plant.
And Brian, we've just received an update from the SCCA saying that this car of Bill Auberlen and Frank Seldorf are running the old power plants, but they have ported heads. And that, Johnny, that's led the SCCA to give those guys a 100-pound penalty as well.
You know, one of the most difficult things for the SCCA is to, you know, get an equivalency formula for all these cars. You know, right now, you know, based on what we see this year, right now, it looks like the BMW's got the upper hand on things. And, you know, the more Bill wins, the more things are going to get even. But again, you know, if you go back to Sebring and you talk about that race, and one of the things you and I spoke of was Bill Auberlen's presence, you know, coming into the series, and how it was going to really force guys to raise their game. The one guy that we're watching right now, Pierre Kleinubing, he's in that category that Bill Auberlen is. He's got to get up there in front. I think he can challenge him.
Kleinubing has halved his position, 20th to 10th.
The all-new Audi A8L, the world's most intelligently designed car.
This Sunday on Speed, first at 7:30, Raikkonen and Schumacher are in a classic F1 battle. Live coverage of the British Grand Prix. At 12, the Barber Dodge Pro Series shows why they're the stars of tomorrow. Then at 2, the thundering roar of the Budweiser Hydroplane Series takes over Madison. At 7:30, dirt tracks or drag racing. If they raced it this weekend, Speed News Sunday has the highlights. That's all this Sunday only on Speed.
You're losing your hair, and you haven't ordered Avocor yet? Hi, I'm Derek Cope, race car driver and TV analyst. To do your best, you need to look and feel your best. When I started noticing my hair thinning, I decided to take action. I explored various options, and I found the Avacor system. The experts at Avacor told me that hair loss is caused by a body chemical called DHT that stops your hair from growing. Avacor has an all-natural DHT blocker, and its topical physician's formulation starts your hair growing again. It worked for me. It's about confidence and the desire to win. Avacor does that.
Join the tens of thousands of satisfied customers who have reversed their hair loss with Avacor. It's guaranteed. Call 800-397-8917. Now you can use Avacor risk-free for 1 full year. It's guaranteed. Call 800-397-8917. That's 800-397-8917.
Back at Road Atlanta, the replay of the start on board with Shauna Marinis.
You know, when you watch that, she just got to the rev limiter. You know, she stayed in first gear too long. It got too much wheel spin. She actually got the jump, it looked like, on Bill as far as her reaction time to the light.
Back to it, our race leader, and it's comfortable going at the moment for Bill Auberlen and Turner Motorsports. Bill was on the pole and led from flag to flag at Sebring. Are we in for more of the same today again? It's a pretty dominant performance so far from the Californian. Still, Jeff Altenberg sits in second action here, and that's Baxter, has been, looked like he may be pushed off the track. John Prawl is in the middle of all of that.
That's a pretty common place, too. Coming out of turn 7, you know, a guy makes a move underneath you, there's contact. You know, one of the things about touring car racing here is that you're not bashful about swapping some paint. Sometimes guys, my gosh, as you watch them here, training paint down the straightaway.
Jim Osborne and Bob Stretch getting right into it, and Christian Elder is in there as well, and Frank Seldorf in the third Turner BMW. Let's see if we can find out a little more, Johnny, as to what happened to Baxter as we came back from that break. And he was off the side of the circuit.
Okay, we're watching the entrance to turn 7, and you know, it was one of those deals. Again, he made a hero move there. That was kind of a Hail Mary, and looks like Baxter was a little bit of a innocent victim there.
Osborne and Seldorf still at it. Frank comes up the inside. This is further back. This is not inside the top 20. These guys still going hard at it. Yet another mammoth field, Johnny, in the Speed Touring Car Championship. Over 40 cars. We saw in excess of 50 at Lime Rock.
And the cool thing, Lee, is that, you know, when you watch this, you know, and you say, my gosh, these guys are working that hard for 24th, 25th position. You know, again, that's just the heart of all these guys. They show up every weekend. Some of the teams are better funded than others, as we watch Bill here. But some of the, you know, these guys are out there to race, and it doesn't matter whether it's for first or for 21st. They're working as hard as they possibly can.
Very comfortable lead to the two Tri-Point Mazdas. Bill Auberlen, then Jeff Altenberg, Shauna Marinis. And here's Nick Johnson, and he's getting plenty of pressure from Hemmingson, and not too far behind is Peter Cunningham, the reigning Speed Touring Car champion. Hemmingson now sets himself up for an inside move on Nick Johnson.
It's a classic move. You know, you stay in the draft as long as you can, pull out on the brake, and he pulled that one off perfectly.
Further back, Mike Fitzgerald in the Lexus IS 300, and there is James Clay. Very strong starting position in the BMW, but he's gone backwards, but is still in touch with some pretty notable drivers.
You know, and one thing, you know, when we're talking about these different manufacturers and different makes and stuff, again, remember that the BMW that Bill Auberlen's driving is not necessarily the same as the other guys are driving. Again, some guys might be getting special parts, as we see someone going out to pick up debris. Believe it or not, that guy is a volunteer. He did that for free. all your corner workers here at Road Atlanta, boy, they're a courageous group. But so, you know, I think right now we're seeing that the Turner Motorsport guys with Bill Auberlen's car are doing an amazing job, and they've got to figure it out.
On board with Matt Plum. This young guy put in an amazing drive at Lime Rock at the previous round, and there is Roger Fu up ahead in the Mazda, who started well back at the pack.
And boy, you saw, you know, again, he lost the back end of that car, and he spent a lot of time gathering it up, and you can just see how much time it cost him. One of the things that your guys like Bill Auberlen are doing, all right, and for that matter right now, Altenberg and Shauna Marinis, they're not making any mistake. It's that little mistake that maybe it's 2/10 or 3/10, but you do it every lap, you know, and over 20 laps, that's cost you, you know, 10, 15 seconds. So It's those drivers that aren't making mistakes that are running at the front day in, day out.
All BMW battle here, Plum versus Richmond. Looks like Matt Richmond has a little bit of a run on Matt Plum. He does indeed.
And look at the difference, and you notice that shot right there. Two different rear wings, okay? The car just making the pass there, his end plates had little bleeds off it, so that might have been an advantage.
With more on Fu, here's Brian Till.
Well, Roger Fu certainly had big hopes coming into this season. He started off with a podium finish down in Sebring, but they had a little problem here. The weather changed all weekend long, and they had a rain set up on the car because they couldn't decide whether the track was going to stay wet or whether it was going to dry, so they softened up the car. The track dried out, and the car settled a little bit, so when they went through post-qualifying technical inspection, front splitter was a little bit low. He had to give up his 6th place qualifying position and start way back in 37th. He's got a long road to hoe if he wants to get back to the front. He's running 5th in points right now. He needs a good finish here.
He does, and he's locked in a battle in that points with John Prawl, so there is a lot to play for here at Road Atlanta. Billy Oberlin still leads the way. We'll have more after this.
None of these Mazda race cars ever dropped a valve, hold a piston, or threw a connecting rod. Maybe that's why they've established one of the greatest winning records in racing history. To learn more, visit MazdaUSA.com.
Out here, control is everything. On the track or the road, a B&M manual sport shifter will improve your driving performance, delivering more control and quicker shifts with up to 50% shorter throws than stock shifters. B&M Precision Machines stainless steel and T6 aluminum to craft the highest quality sport shifters in the world. So good they come with a 1,000,000-mile warranty. For the B&M dealer near you, log on to bmracing.com. B&M Sport Shifters. Improve the art of driving.
You do it every day, but you've never seen it done like this. It's extreme everyday driving. See stop-and-go traffic. Bumper-to-bumper bedlam. Lay on the horn, it's dreadlock, baby. Ramp up the action with the damn line uphill.
This may not look extreme to you, but it is to your engine. Fram Tough Guard oil filters, tough enough to handle the extremes of everyday driving. Fram, do you drive tough?
It's gonna be awesome.
Tonight, look at what's on Speed. At 7, catch up on all the races with Speed News Saturday. Then at 9, they're rough, tough, and ready for action. Who? The NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, live from St. Louis. All this tonight, only on Speed.
You're watching the 4th round of the Speed Touring Car Championship. James Sofronis working his way past Matt Plum. Look at this. Scott Bradley right up on Matt Plum, and here comes Will Turner into the equation as well. This is the battle for 14th.
Boy, like we said, and look at Sofronis. Beautiful move to the inside, protects himself through 10A, 10B, and this is the way you like to see Speed Touring Car Challenge racing, in that everything is nice and close, but no rubbing, no pushing.
Now this group has come together because Matt Plum earlier was battling with Matt Richmond, but Richmond lost his way after he got a little excited going down into turn 10. Johnny, let's have a look at this and talk us through. There's Matt Richmond.
Yeah, we see Richmond making the move to the inside. Okay, this is going down the long back straightaway. Right now they're coming up to a kink. It goes downhill. Hardest braking zone right here is where he's at, which is 10A, but he just got in too deep. Couldn't make it to his apex, and as a result, he had to spin. A lot of times, though, Lee, what you have to remember is you get into the leading position, you don't have that car in front of you as a braking reference point. My guess is that he just wasn't sure where he should brake for that corner.
Sofronis, Plum, Turner, and then Scott Bradley, his 3rd start for 2003 with the ARC team. A change of name there, formerly OPM Motorsport. We go back up front, and our race leader, Bill Oberlin, heading for his 2nd win in 03, but we're not even halfway through this one yet. A long way to go at Road Atlanta.
You know what, and what Billy's trying to do right now is just be nice, clean, and smooth. He's getting gaps to his competitors, and, you know, he knows who's behind him. He doesn't want to use too much, as we look at the new Mercedes in the pits there, but Bill doesn't want to use up too much of his car in case there is a full course caution.
That was Peter Lockhart in pit lane, but another driver in one of those new Mercedes is Scott Quarrier. He's doing a wonderful job at the moment. Meanwhile, Mike Fitzgerald starts to apply the pressure to Peter Cunningham, and incidentally, those Lexus IS 300s, they're carrying an additional 50 pounds of weight this weekend.
You know, again, just a lot of adjustments being done based on what they've seen at the previous races. The SCCA doing everything they possibly can to keep the racing even and making the drivers be the difference. Right now, Petey Cunningham, again, he's doing a nice job in that Nissan. And Nick Johnson, again, remember he was in second, so he might not have the car that Billy Arberlin did, but he's doing everything he can to keep it in the top 5.
Pappas making his way back after that early spin. He works his way past Tom Stewart. And the team principal, the team owner, Pappas, is back on track and making some good ground up. And Johnny, let's talk about 2 other drivers making great headway. Pierre Klein-Newbing, Roger Fu. A couple of cautions and Pierre could be right in this thing.
And you know what, that is definitely what Pierre's looking for, as we see, boy, one of the
Jim
BMWs,
Osborne,
I think that's Osborne off doing a little grass cutting. But you know what, Pierre's hoping for that. Again, he had a lousy qualifying session. He, in his mind, thinks he can outrun Arberlin. He's moving through the field, but again, the only way he's going to get up to the front is with a full course caution.
Oh no, John Prawl in the Audi, the Stasis Engineering Audi, has a flat right front, and that will force him to come in. This is pretty tough stuff for John. He's 4th in the points at the moment. He's coming off his career best finish at Lime Rock, but it's all going a little sideways here at Road Atlanta and not in the right direction.
You know what? You cannot afford in this type of racing to have any sort of problem. If you're going to the pit, you might as well, you know, kiss all your points goodbye just because the field's so big.
Well, as Oberlin and Altenberg and Marinus continue to go well in the top 3, we feel a little sorry for John Prawl in the Audi, and with more on that situation, let's get it down to pit lane, and here's Brian Till.
John Prawl's day has gone from bad to worse. He qualified 10th. He's 4th in championship points, but the car would not fire. He couldn't get it to the grid. He had to start from pit lane, dead last in the field. Now, in his effort to get back through the field, he's had contact with somebody. He's got damage to the spoiler in front and a flat left front tire. As I said, it's gone from bad to worse. This is going to put him way, way back, if not a lap down.
One of those days you want to forget about, Johnny.
You know what? And everyone has them. You feel bad for them. You know, those teams that are doing a good job, like Turner Motorsports, as we see Richmond here, he looks like he's going a little bit slow. He's got a problem or something.
This tells us why.
Boy, you know what? That's almost identical to what he did previously when he was running around Safranis. Okay, it looks like he just carried too much speed in, loses. You see, he's not even close to his apex. And, oh, wrong guy there. No, he did get to his apex. He just carried too much speed. So, you know, again, one other thing that might be playing into this, these cars have adjustable brake bias. He might be running too much rear brake, locking the rears up as he gets into the corner, and it doesn't take much to get him to go backwards.
It's been an eventful day for Matt Richmond. In fact, it's been an eventful day for many competitors. Scott Bradley continues to push hard in his Mazda protege. We'll be back.
Keep our highways beautiful. The 911 Carrera.
There's a rhythm to the road, and we have the Toyo tire to fit you, like the versatile Toyo Open Country AT, with all-terrain performance, rugged good looks, and great handling for virtually any pickup, van, or SUV, even lifted trucks. Tire dealers themselves have named Toyo #1 in product quality. That's harmony with tire dealers, drivers, and the road.
I started working in my dad's gas station 20 years ago. I loved the fact that we could work together every day and build something that would be lasting. That was his goal. My dad really planned ahead. He sat down with our prudential agent and they made a plan of what would happen if he passed away. Without having that life insurance policy, I probably wouldn't have this business. I'm so thankful that after 8 years, I'm still here doing what I love to do every day.
Tonight on Speed, the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series takes on St. Louis. The Dodge Ram Tough 200, tonight at 9 Eastern, only on Speed.
We continue here at Road Atlanta, round 4 of the Speed Touring Car Championship. The battle going on here between Scott Bradley and James Sofronis. And Bradley enjoying his time in that Mazda protege, the former Star Mazda champion.
And doing a great job here at Road Atlanta. But again, you also got to give, tip your hat to James Sofronis there. I mean, he's doing awesome. He's a small guy out of Newport Beach. He and his brother team up, and they're doing an awesome job today.
And they're not too far outside the top 10.
Oh, now if you saw that, oh, okay, there we go. They are coming up past that Mercedes. But you heard Scott get his gear really late there. Kind of uncharacteristic for that to happen. And we see, looks like
someone running out of the way, yeah.
There. I don't know whether we got a caution out. We got a car in the gravel.
Car off there, so the corner workers and the driver of that car running to safety. Everything appears to be okay there, and it looked like Peter Lockhart getting back up to speed in that Mercedes, which is good, so perhaps his day isn't done.
You know, one of the things we spoke about earlier was the splitters on cars, okay? And what the splitter is, it's that area in front of the front bumper, down by the ground. And when Petey Cunningham came out with that the Nissan, it had a big front splitter, and what that does is that gives a whole lot of front downforce to these cars, and it's one of the areas where all these teams now are developing. When you look at Shauna's car or Altenberg's car, they've been trying to work in that front splitter area to get more front downforce on these cars. And by the way, both those cars are running today. I think it's paying off.
Scott Bradley has James Sofronis' measure at the moment. As we edge towards 10 laps to run here at Road Atlanta. And our race leader, Bill Auberlen, is enjoying plenty of clean, clear air up front. Here is the replay of that car that's in the gravel trap. It's Mark O'Dell, car 63. And Johnny spinning on his own oil?
Yeah, spinning on his own oil. I mean, it doesn't look like technique-wise he did anything wrong. But where he's parked, I would not be surprised if they pull out a full course caution. That's not a safe area. And boy, I tell you what, if I'm Pierre Kleinebing, I'm thinking, beautiful, man. Somebody, that car's too dangerous. Let's get it out of there and go full course.
Andy Monterrubio in pit lane. And that's perhaps his day done, and a caution is not what this guy or Turner Motorsports wants to see. Well, perhaps Will Turner, who's a little further back, he'd like to see it. And we are hearing word that perhaps there is a full course caution coming out here at Road Atlanta, and there you see it on screen. So that will evaporate. Bill Auberlen's lead will evaporate, and the Tri-Point Mazdas will come right up with the Turner Motorsports BMW. And Johnny, this is going to make things very interesting.
It is, but I can tell you one thing Billy did right there is when the caution came out, he looked in his mirror, as we see Odell here having a problem, obviously in his own oil. He had some sort of mechanical problem. But Billy's got it covered.
We are under caution here at Road Atlanta. The field will pack up, and we will return. Stay with us here on Speed. Plenty more coming up.
Doctors recommend elevating your heart rate at least 30 minutes a day. Here's to your health. The BMW 3 Series. The ultimate driving machine.
This Sunday on Speed, live coverage of the British Grand Prix, the Barber Dodge Pro Series from Portland, Oregon. The Budweiser Hydroplane Series takes over Madison. That's all this Sunday, only on Speed.
Notice how TV seems to be made for the masses? Showtime Unlimited, on the other hand, seems to be made for Ian. You see, Ian is into HD TV. Why not? It's the ultimate cinematic view. Add Showtime Interactive TV, and he's like a kid in a candy store. 4 premium networks on 9 digital channels. Showtime Unlimited. A whole lot to choose from. For Ian and for you. Call 1-800-DIRECTV and add it on for $12 or less per month. Not even the cost of one DVD.
At DirecTV, we've got something extra for everyone. The Total Choice Plus package adds over 15 additional channels to Total Choice, all for just a few dollars more, bringing you more adventure, more laughs, more exploration, more music, and more entertainment choices for everyone in the family. Over 130 channels in all, including local channels. Total Choice Plus. It's an easy and affordable way to get more out of your DirecTV. Visit DirecTV.com or call 1-800-DirecTV and order today.
Speed Channel's coverage of the Speed Touring Car Championship is brought to you by Audi. In technology, performance and design, our goal remains constant. Never follow. We're back at Road Atlanta. Matt Plum and Steve Piantieri discussing tactics, but their day is done, sadly. And we are still under full course caution here at Road Atlanta. Welcome back to the 4th round of the Speed Touring Car Championship. Talking more about this caution, here's our pit reporter, Brian Till.
This full course caution is exactly what Bill Auberlen did not want to see, but drivers like Roger Fu and Pierre Kleinubing, it's exactly what they needed. Fu has worked his way up from 37th to 11th. Kleinubing has worked his way up from 20th to 7th, and I was talking to Kleinubing's crew, and they said, we needed this. It's hot today. It's over 110, 111 degrees track temperature down here. They said he's really burning down the car trying to get it up to the front. So they needed this to cool the tires. We'll see on the restart if Kleinubing can continue his march up towards the front.
We are back under green here at Road Atlanta. Pressure on Bill Auberlen. Also a bit of pressure on Peter Cunningham. Pierre Kleinubing coming up hot and fast.
Well, I think Pierre actually was sleeping a little bit there. Billy did something that was very, very, very unusual. He brought him down to that last corner, turn 12, extremely slowly. Normally when that pace car pulls off, guys are on the gas to try to open up the gap, but Billy kept it tight, and I think that might have hurt Pierre's opportunity to get by to get by PD.
Time now for the sounds of speed. We ride with Shauna Marinis, currently in 3rd. Replay of an earlier incident here with Bob Stretch in the BMW. Gets into some trouble, and it's hard to see exactly if there's any damage. The car seems to be running.
You know what, going into turn 3, it's pretty easy to get pushed off there, and as you watched that, you saw the new addition that they made to Road Atlanta for the motorcycle, so it actually helps for the cars then.
And as Peter Cunningham got by Nick Johnson there, Pierre Kleinubing got all sideways and was lucky to hang on to it. Good driving from him. So it's still Auberlen, Oldenburg, Marinis. 4th place is still Chuck Hemmingson, and the highest place Mazda in this championship so far this year. Then Cunningham, that's the highest the Sentra's been. Then it's Johnson, then it's Kleinubing. So there's a big battle for big placings.
You know, and again, the fast guys are at the front. As we see Jim Osborne, looks like that's at the exit of the long back straightaway going into 10A. But, you know, when we we're watching Shauna in car, you notice she wasn't making mistakes. Her line was tight. She wasn't missing apexes. And that's the difference. You got to run at the front. You got to be tight with your line.
Tim Pappas, and again we must say what a great comeback after that early spin. Has worked his way back to 18th.
Through turn 5, you see him use all the road there.
This is the Jim Osborne incident. Ooh, looks like the good doctor may have been helped a little bit there.
But you know what? Sometimes you're at the wrong end of the ramming, and that was the case there. He's buried in that gravel, and here comes a truck. So they'll get him out of there. I don't think they'll go full course for this one.
Good to see Jim back, part of the Chili Peppers Racing organization, team with Ken Dobson.
Now look at Oldenburg. He's getting right up on Billy, and he's close enough where he might be able to make a move to the inside. Watch Billy defend the inside. But
I think Jeff Oldenburg has realized, Johnny, that this is his chance. He couldn't go with Billy earlier, or perhaps he didn't want to, or the BMW was just too fast, but that caution has given him new motivation.
You know what, and if you've been watching last time, they're running pretty darn close, you know, so we got to see if Billy is, you know, toying with him right now, whether he can pull away or whether Oldenburg's got something for him, but You know, one thing Billy's got is that experience of all the different forms of racing that he's done. I don't think he's going to be too worried. He's probably just trying to control the pace.
What an amazing run this has been for Shauna Marinis. Her best SCCA Speed World Challenge finish has been 5th. She has never stood on the podium. It was her first front row. Earlier today, she could be heading for her first career podium. Wonderful stuff. We watched Pierre Klein-Ubing, the championship points leader, but not by very much. Only 6 points coming into this race. Pressure on him. If Auberlen wins and Klein-Ubing stays back there, we could have a new points leader. This car's not going anywhere. Don't you go anywhere either.
Inside's the difference. It's what's inside that makes the difference. Between just handling the road, attacking, and scorching the pavement. Between just moving and riding curves like you're on rails. Between just going and tearing the wind in half. The 227 horsepower, turbocharged, all-wheel drive Subaru WRX. Subaru, driven by what's inside.
Ah, I love the smell of this new sandwich.
Alvin, how is it you can smell when you don't have a nose?
What do you mean I don't have a... What? Where did it go? Ah!
Arby's new Market Fresh 5-Star Club. Oven roasted turkey and ham plus 2 cheeses on new Harvest White bread.
Nice nose, Oven Mitt.
Thanks.
But how do the glasses stay on if you don't have any ears?
What? I don't have any... I don't have ears!
Arby's new Market Fresh 5-Star Club.
What are you eating today?
You do it every day, but you've never seen it done like this. It's extreme everyday driving. See stop-and-go driving. Bumper-to-bumper bedlam. Lay on the horn, it's dreadlock, baby. Ramp up the action with the damn line uphill.
This may not look extreme to you, but it is to your engine. Fram Tough Guard oil filters, tough enough to handle the extremes of everyday driving. Fram, do you drive tough?
It's gonna be awesome.
Inside's the difference. It's what's inside that makes the difference. Between just handling the road, attacking, and scorching the pavement. Between just moving and riding curves like you're on rails. Between just going and tearing the wind in half. The 227 horsepower, turbocharged, all-wheel drive Subaru WRX. Subaru, driven by what's inside.
Stay up to date with everything that's happening in the Winston Cup each Monday night. Join Alan Bestwick and the boys, 7 p.m. Eastern, for Inside Winston Cup. There you see the discarded BMW of Matt Plum. His day came to a premature end, which was a shame after such a great run at Lime Rock Park for the World Challenge rookie. We get back to it though, and Bill Auberlen has Jeff Altenberg breathing all over the back of him. Shauna Marinis has got pressure from Chuck Hemmingson. Great stuff there, and terrific to see this Nissan Sentra, one of the new cars in this championship, running so strong. It's been little niggly problems that's denied Cunningham good results so far.
Well, and I think today he's on the way. Again, if you go back to Lime Rock, though, as we see Turner and Pappas having at it in turn 1. Turner moving up the inside of Pappas. He's got the preferred line now going into turn 3. But if you look at how Petey was running at Lime Rock, he was in position for a good result there, but got taken out. So as long as things keep going in the same direction for him today, he'll get that good result Nissan's looking for.
Tim Pappas running strong with Will Turner. They're having a great personal battle. Further down the order, we're with inside 10 laps to go, so we're getting towards the business end of this race. And Turner, while he's chasing down as many championship points as he can, his more preferred teammate Bill Auberlen is up front and dominating this race as he has done right from the green. We could be looking at a repeat of Sebring here when Auberlen led from flag to flag.
You know, again, you hate to go back to it, but again, it's driving is like a lot of things. It's experience, and Billy's been doing it a long time. He's learned so many lessons that perhaps these guys have not learned, and there's a reason BMW's got him in the car. He knows what he's doing.
Let's talk about the weight penalty. Is it affecting Will Turner that much? Is that why he's further down the order?
Yeah, I would say so, but again, you don't know how these two cars compare. Now, if you've got two cars in your stable, one is strong, one is less strong, you're going to put Billy in the stronger of the two cars.
Chuck Hemmingson still pushing hard in fourth and is having a great run today. Here's Brian Till.
But we talked about the heat out here, and it's really affected the way these teams have looked at setting up their cars. It's a good 12 to 15 degrees hotter track temperature today, and it's bright sunshine. We haven't had that all weekend long. I was just talking to the crew of Chuck Hemmingson. He said, you got to really be careful about the tires. You can burn these things down. They have set their car up for the long run. He said, we weren't so good at the beginning of the race, but we should be very good in the last 5 laps. That's the way we've set it up. And guys, you win at the checkered flag. You don't win at the beginning, so they may be onto something. They think they've got something for the Mazdas in front of them, if not Oberlin up on the point.
Boy, you know what? Watching him go through the S's, so I don't know whether he's got the best setup in the world right now. I mean, he is doing everything he possibly can to keep that car underneath him. When you watch him coming down the S's, boy, that car is sliding a lot, and as hot as it is, that's very fatiguing on all these drivers.
On a less substantial point, I like the new color scheme. Easily recognizable, and his teammates, Scott Bradley, has he had a problem? Seems to be running a little slower than what we have seen throughout this race. Let's take a look at it. Here is Scott Bradley.
Boy, just loses the back end coming in. Whoo, boy, you hate that when that happens. You know, he caught the initial skid. That's kind of like when you have a skid on the street. You know, you catch the first one, it's the second one that gets you in trouble, and that's what happened to Scott right there. Good job keeping it out of trouble. And one of the nicer things about Road Atlanta is you have, in some areas, more runoff than in some previous circuits. But, you know, good job for him. Again, he's pushing hard. He's not used to this type of car, though. Remember, he's an open-wheeled car, you know, open-wheel guy, and so he's learning how to drive these cars. And, you know, each race is a new lesson for him.
And it's only his 3rd race this year, so he's doing well and getting better with each one. We go back to our race leader, Bill Oberlin. Could even, oh, look at this, Bob Stretch is in trouble. Not the first time we've seen this today. It's been a pretty eventful day for Bob, but this looks like his day is done with just 5 laps to go. So we're getting down towards the interesting part. Does Jeff Altenberg have anything for Bill Oberlin? We'll find out.
No stop signs, no red lights. Just you, a Mazda 6, and a closed course. Announcing Mazda Rev It Up, the world's largest performance driving school and national competition. Learn from top pro drivers. Compete to be a national champion. To sign up, log on, or call in. Mazda Rev It Up. Coming soon to a city near you. How much is in you?
Tonight, look at what's on Speed. At 7, catch up on all the races with Speed News Saturday. Then at 9, they're rough, tough, and ready for action. Who? The NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, live from St. Louis. All this tonight, only on Speed.
Notice how TV seems to be made for the masses? Showtime Unlimited, on the other hand, seems to be made for Emma. You see, Emma watches the stuff that strikes a chord and speaks to her soul, like this critically acclaimed original series. 4 premium networks on 9 digital channels. Showtime Unlimited, a whole lot to choose from. For Emma and for you. Call 1-800-DIRECTV and add it on for $12 or less per month. Not even the price of a takeout dinner.
Bringing DirecTV to our new house was real easy. We just called ahead, left the old dish where it was, and packed the receiver and remote. They gave us a new dish and even took care of the installation. Actually, DirecTV made moving an enjoyable experience.
Now it's my turn to enjoy it. Here you go. Remember to lift with your knees, dear.
Back at Road Atlanta, and while our race leader Bill Oberlin is perhaps heading towards more celebrations, it hasn't all been happy memories from Road Atlanta. 3 years ago at the Petit Le Mans, when he was racing the V12 LMR, the mighty BMW. Look to the top of your screen, scary stuff.
You know what, and that's happened before. That's the same year that a couple Mercedes went over at Le Mans. And, you know, at this time I was driving for Panos. We actually had discussions amongst us all that as we came over that crest, we'd always stick a nose out to get the air on the front of the car. Billy didn't do that, and boy, I tell you what, he got away with a lucky one there. He, you know, from what I understand, he, you know, brushed himself off and was ready to go, but one heck of a ride.
He did. He literally walked away, which is hard to believe. But Jeff Altenberg is not letting Bill Oberlin get away. It's been pretty much a faultless race from the Californian, though, and he's certainly heading towards his 2nd victory if things remain as is. Brian Till.
Well, we saw Bill Auberlen pull out a big lead at the start. I was just talking to his crew. They said, you know, we've got an advantage at the start with rear-wheel drive. When the weight shifts to the back end of the car under acceleration from these standing starts, we've got better grip than the front-wheel drive cars. So he was able to get a big launch at the green light in the beginning, but on this restart, with a rolling restart, they don't have that same advantage in the launch. He hadn't been able to pull away as much. And the other thing, once again, it's hot, and they're starting to have brake issues on that Turner BMW. It's getting hot, the pedal's starting to get long. As the race wears on, that could become an issue. They're carrying a lot more weight than some of these other cars out here, and they all run the same brakes, and in these high temperatures, braking problems will be cropping up on a lot of these guys, I'll bet.
3 to go. Johnny, has Auberlen got Altenberg under control?
Well, you know what? I mean, if you watch Billy, I mean, watch him come down those S's. He is using all the road. I mean, he is not holding anything back right now. You're seeing him push as hard as he possibly can every single lap. Now, what Brian alluded to as far as the brakes go, Auberlen's in an advantage in that he's the front car, so his brakes are getting air, so he's looking pretty good there. One guy that we got to watch, though, is Kleinubing on his boss there, Petey Cunningham. You know, he's certainly running close to him, and it's fun to see those two whenever they have a good battle going.
Riding with Shauna Marinus, and our top 6 are split off into 3 pairings. Altenberg's chasing Bill Auberlen. Hemmingson, you can see through the rear windshield there, chasing Shauna Marinus, and Klein-Ubing chasing Peter Cunningham in the new Nissan Sentra. So plenty of individual battles within the top half dozen at the moment. Will Shauna Marinus be denied her first ever Speed World Challenge podium, or can she hold off the Mazda protege of Chuck Hemmingson? She's doing a wonderful job so far.
You know, and one of the coolest things about this type of racing is as we're watching them, we see all these different manufacturers, you know, different types of cars, and everyone, you know, with 3 laps to go running so close as we see Tom Stewart there, it looks like, with some sort of mechanical problem. But to see all these different manufacturers finding a place where they can show their wares, everything close, it says a lot for the type of racing and what the SCCA is doing here.
Hemmingson applies the pressure. So too does Pierre Klein-Ubing. Thinks about it, then thinks again. He's going to be very, very careful. That's his boss in front.
You know what, and I guarantee you, though, he's probably not thinking about that. But you know what? Again, you've got to be so much closer and stick that move so much harder. Now, to a lot of drivers, a move like that, it's going to get you watching your mirror, throw your concentration a little bit. That's not going to work on Petey. He's going to have to get close to him, close the gap, and stick him hard.
This will give the guys in the crew something to talk about. Jerome Zimmerman and Andrew Armistead, who runs the Nissan, and they're a tight-knit bunch of guys. Great group. They'll be talking about this one for a while to come. Closing stages in this one, though. Bill Auberlen still dominating. Brian?
Well, checking in with the crew down here in real-time racing with Peter Cunningham and Pierre Klein-Ubing. I asked, are there any team orders? No. They feel like Klein-Ubing is faster in the corner. He's got to be careful. It is his boss that's in front of him, and he can move him twice, the first time and the last time. So he needs to be careful and go racing, guys.
Johnny, have you ever been in this situation where someone who is employing you is you're racing against?
Yeah, you know what? Fortunately, I never had. That would be quite a dilemma. You know, I've been on the radio and they've told me to move over for guys. That always fights.
Here comes Pierre. Here comes Pierre. You saw him in the mirror. Inside, down into turn 10. He's got Peter Cunningham.
Beautiful move. Just shoots it right to the inside. Protects his line coming out. And you know what? To Petey's credit, he gave him a lot of room there, so he could have blocked him, made it more difficult, as we see the white flag for Billy, who seems to open up a whole lot of room there on Jeff Altenberg. Shauna or Marinus there is going to have to do a lot to defend his position.
Hang on to it, Shauna. 1 to go, less than that now. And Auberlen has never won a speed touring car event here at Road Atlanta. Peter Cunningham has. Mike Fitzgerald, Michael Gallardi, and Neil Sapp. They're our 4 winners. And Billy Auberlen is set to become our 5th different one. What about the Foo fighter, Roger Foo, right from the back of the pack. 38th he started. He's now in 8th position. What a day for him. Great stuff.
That is an incredible run for him. And remember, if we look at Nick Johnson there, again, he was running second on that first lap. So he's been fighting and clawing for every position that he's lost for this race and still doing a good job doing it.
Well, this is more than just Bill Auberlen's second victory if he hangs in there for just another half a lap, because he will go back to the top of the championship standings with Pierre Klein-Ubing down there in 5th position. This is going to make it tight heading towards our next round at Infineon Raceway in California. And Klein Newbing's not done with yet. He's chasing as hard as he can, but Hemmingson, is he about to put a move on Shauna Marinus, heading down in towards turn 10?
You know, Shauna's been doing a brilliant job. What she's got to do as she goes into 10 is protect that line a little bit. She just doesn't want him to get to the inside.
There's a podium at stake here. Shauna Marinus' first podium. Hemmingson, this is his last roll of the dice. Is he close enough? No, he's not.
You know what? She played that brilliantly from when she faked that she was going to the inside, opened up her line as we see Billy coming off, getting a well-deserved victory. But Shauna did a beautiful job protecting herself.
Checkered flag out for round 4. 2 wins in season 2003. Oberlin does it again. And Shauna Marinus, you ride with her across the line in her first ever Speed World Challenge podium. Great stuff. And both Tri-Point Mazdas, second and third for Oldenburg and Marinus, their best results of 2003. Sensational stuff. But for Bill Auberlen and Turner Motorsports, the BMW takes the fight back to Acura and back to the real-time racing organization. 2 wins apiece this year for Auberlen and Klein Newbing. Stay with us. We'll be back to wrap it all up after this.
All-new Audi A8L, the world's most intelligently designed car.
There's a rhythm to the road, and we have the Toyo tire to fit you, like the new all-season Proxys TPT, total performance touring tire. Premium performance handling in any weather and a smooth, comfortable ride for world-class luxury performance touring sedans and coupes. Tire dealers themselves have named Toyo #1 in product quality. That's harmony with tire dealers, drivers, and the road.
There are a lot of reasons to talk life insurance with Prudential Financial. After all, we've been growing wealth and protecting it for 125 years, with hundreds of offices all over the country, where we offer professional one-on-one advice to help you find the coverage you need at a price you'll like, all from a name you know and trust. Talk to the people with more than $1 trillion of life insurance in force today. Prudential Financial, growing and protecting your wealth.
Tonight on Speed, the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series
Bumping and banging, battling through.
takes on St. Louis. From the back of the pack to victory lane, Carl Edwards made his first win an impressive one. Now, the toughest racing in NASCAR heads for the Gateway City and lights up the night in prime time. The Dodge Ram Tough 200, tonight at 9 Eastern, only on Speed.
Speed Channel's coverage of the Speed Touring Car Championship is brought to you by B&M Racing and Performance Products, the world leader in shifter technology. Welcome back to Road Atlanta. Round 4 is done, and there'll be plenty to talk about after this one, most notably Bill Auberlen's victory, the second of the year. Let's take a look at the results. Great stuff from the Tri-Point Mazdas as well. Again, congratulations to Shauna Marinus. Pierre Klein Newbing, boy, did he work hard. Peter Cunningham, best result of the year for the new Nissan. And Roger Fu was a real hard charger. Speaking of the hard charger, though, the Sunoco Hard Charger Award goes to Tim Pappas. He made up 16 positions, 30th to 14th. And we congratulate Vic Rice as well. He won the B&M Whole Shot Award, making up 8 positions on the opening lap. Scott Poyer did a good job too. He made up 14 spots. Brian Till is now with our race winner.
Well, Bill Auberlen, quite a clinic. Just another Sunday driving your BMW.
Wasn't so easy. You know, luckily in the beginning, the BMWs jumped the Mazdas, held them up. I got my gap. That gap didn't move, and I was driving as hard as I could, and I thought, wow, if a yellow comes out, we're going to be in trouble. The yellow came out, closed the bunch up. That was a tough fight. I couldn't even pull anywhere, and all of a sudden, I don't know if he made a few mistakes or just he had some issue at the end. He had to back up. The deal is Turner Motorsports once again does it. H&R Springs, what Turner Motorsport builds on Sunday, you will see on their website, turnermotorsport.com, on Monday, so you can buy it. Go look at it.
Yeah, log on and have a look as we take a look at the points, and boy, is it interesting. Auberlen to first, Klein Newbing to second, Hemmingson from 6th to 3rd, Turner is out of the top 5, Kroll is out of the top 5, and Mike Fitzgerald is in. There has been plenty of movement. The other star on the podium was Shauna Marinus. Let's hear from her.
Well, Shauna Marinus, you started on the front row and you end up with a podium.
Yeah, I mean, TriPoint, the thing about TriPoint is they always build a car that's 120% so that when you're 80 or 90, you can hopefully do very well. So these guys have done a great job. Mazda's been so supportive, and we're moving forward in motorsports, and it's all exciting future.
The first female to ever finish on a Speed World Challenge podium. Congratulations, Shauna. Round 4 is done. Johnny O'Connell, final thoughts.
Well, I think Shauna kind of sold herself short there. I mean, she gave 110% today. She did a great job in bringing it home third. I think that's a start for more good results for her to come.
Next round is at Infineon Raceway, Sears Point, Sonoma, California. Challenging racetrack.
Very much so. And remember, we're only 4 races into this thing. This championship is far from being decided yet. A lot of good drivers, a lot of good races still to come.
And Pierre will be back. You can count on that. On behalf of Brian Till, Johnny O'Connell, I'm Lee Diffie. Thanks for joining us from Road Atlanta. We've got 2 drivers with 2 wins apiece, Bill Aublin and Pierre Klein-Ubing. They'll be going hard in California. We hope you can join us then for more of the 2003 SCCA Speed World Challenge. We'll see you then.